Welcome to Soul Rising. We're your hosts, Amy and Erin. We're two everyday mediums who are passionate about taking the woo-woo out of spirituality and bringing it down to earth. So put the kettle on, grab a chair, and join us.
Hey everyone.
Welcome back to the podcast.
Episode 58 of Soul Rising podcast. Nearing the end of this first month of the year.
Yeah.
How's everybody doing? Hopefully good and well. I really love the kind of theme of January's podcast thus far. It seems like there's a theme for sure.
I think so.
Yeah, for sure. So today, episode 58, we're here to talk a bit about numerology.
I'm excited. I'm always excited to talk about numerology because Amy has such good in-depth insight to it. Well, I feel like you do anyways.
Well, I don't know about that. But then again, I'm like, it's funny because I'm always working through my feelings of like, oh, I can never know enough. I can never be enough.
And like, yeah.
You know, it's like in the moment, like really wild. Because I know that's deeply a part of me. Okay, I think it's a part of my numerology. We'll see as we go. But I did want to share that on the break, so we're batch recording today, in the break between last podcast and this podcast, I went on and checked my Facebook messages. And in one of the last couple episodes that we've recorded, I did mention the name Deborah Silverman, who's an astrologer. Yeah. Pardon. And I joined her Facebook community, and it's called the 11th House, an astrology community with Deborah Silverman. But anyways, on Fridays, sorry, I have a tickle.
That's okay.
On Fridays, she has this like share your chart Friday, right? So you can share a screenshot of your birth chart, and like budding astrologers can take a look at it and just if they feel called, they'll respond. So I posted mine the other day, and I just said, curious about anything that comes up when looking at my chart. So I wanted to read what somebody wrote to me. Okay, because I think it's kind of cool.
Okay.
You likely are quite a deep thinker and have a rich spiritual life. You're quite private and you're born under a lucky star. It's true because I'm Jupiter. And it's in my 12th house, which is the house of spirituality. So it makes a lot of sense that I work in a spiritual field. And you have a lot of passion for what you do. You probably see, hear spirits. You're quite psychic and emotionally intuitive too. My chart is very psychic.
Wow.
Certain parts of it, which is funny because when I had a professional astrology reading,
I remember he was like, no.
I'm shocked. I know. So it wasn't the best. Because he was like, there's so much, I think it was his personal bias, because he was like, there's so much earth in your chart that it makes me think of a teacher. Well, you know, a spiritual teacher maybe. I don't know. Yeah. But she said you're quite psychic and emotionally intuitive too. You're responsible, practical, and see the details and organization of everything going on in your life. Perhaps a bit too perfectionistic, which makes you very self-critical.
Wow. Whoa.
You've got to stop that. And then she says, everything in your chart actually points to Chiron in some way. This is the wounded healer, Chiron, right? So you have many childhood wounds, especially those of safety, security, and unworthiness. I do know this. This is something that I've worked on a lot, that you need to heal. And you're going to do it through healing others. I feel like crying as I say that. I don't know why.
This person is also not just this feels more like also a like psychic reading,
maybe
astrology.
But that's the medicine astrology. That's what I'm trying to say. Like astrology does tell you these things.
Yeah.
You've come into this life to heal some other karma as well. We're going to talk about that today because I know all about the karma in my numerology chart. But this is not the place to discuss that. So I know I'm like, what kind of karma?
What kind of karma? Tell me more.
But I just thought that was kind of interesting, right? Because we're talking about, I think I need to spend some more time learning about Chiron. I know it's the wounded healer. I've always found it interesting because it's in Taurus for me, which is another earth sign. And in the 9th house, which the 9th house is a lot to do with, like religion, spirituality, education, things like this. But it's been suggested to me that it's almost like I might have some wounds around the idea of religion or spirituality or like conformity, or like my beliefs were not always accepted in some way. So like the person that I had the reading with was like, do you have any like religious wounds? And I'm like, not in this lifetime, but it's not to say I don't in previous, right?
Yeah.
But I never really totally identified with that. So it seems as if I'm here to learn. So yeah, I'll let you know the outcome if she gets back to me and says anything else. Because I thought that was kind of like, whoa, interesting.
Yeah. Very accurate. Cool.
Very accurate. So today we're here to talk about numerology. Now, what I have in front of me is actually a personal numerology chart. So I did have this done a couple of years ago with a past guest of our podcast, Brandy, who is Spirit Talk.
Shout out Brandy. Shout out Spirit Talk.
Yeah. So we had her on a couple, maybe the fall, maybe. Anyways, a couple years ago when I first met her, I saw that she offered personal numerology reports, and she did one for me. I printed it off and I have it here. So first of all, what is numerology? So I'm going to read Brandy's writing, if that's okay. Brandy, I will tag you in the show notes.
Great. Yeah.
Because I believe she still offers these like by request. So it says, well, first off, it requires a belief in the mystical. Trying to figure out exactly how it works would be considered futile by some, as we are not meant to know all of the workings of the universe well in this human experience. Those who do wish to know, however, have a never-ending stream of information and ideas to explore, and undoubtable it can be a lifelong pursuit. Numerology is a special relationship between numbers and real-world events and involves the study of the symbolism of numbers. Each number holds a specific vibration. Like astrology, it's an individual signature that you're born with, and your numbers make up a piece of the greater puzzle that is you. So numerology isn't new. In fact, the relationship between numbers and coinciding events has been around for thousands of years. The history reaches back as far as ancient Babylon, but it was Pythagoras. I don't know how to say it. Pythagoras, a Greek mathematician and philosopher who reportedly was the first person to organize the study of numbers. Yeah, and events in numerology. Now that corresponds to what the research that I had done, and the information that I brought up, a little bit of the history of it. So there's a unique energetic vibration with each number and letter. Really, this is what makes up numerology. So numerology is the study of the way these vibrations influence the story of your life, which is cool.
Very cool.
So in numerology, the main personality numbers are derived from a person's birth date and birth name. Each letter of the alphabet corresponds to a number, 1 to 9. Names are translated to numbers and reduced down to a single digit. The specific name and date a person is born with reveals personality traits and overarching life themes. An individual's numerology chart informs us of strengths, personality aspects, and potential pitfalls to be aware of and learn from. So it can even be a tool to realize your soul's purpose and your karmic debt patterns.
Wow.
So it's interesting for sure. So I went on a few different websites. There's one like instyle.com, right? So it which is like a magazine, I believe, talks about this and how to figure out your numerology life path. So this is kind of like the main number in your chart. There's others, and I will go through them. But this one seems to be like the biggest one. So I'm going to tell you guys how to get to it first. So one of the ways that you can begin to work with numerology on your own is by pinpointing your life path number, which will give you a sense of focus of what is your focus in this lifetime.
Okay.
It actually signifies a challenge you were born with that brings out personalities associated with the number. The reason I find that sentence kind of interesting is because like when I do higher self readings, what it's been revealed to me is like, because I tap in, like I channel a person's innate soul gifts. And then there's also, there's 5 questions I ask. I actually used the Kyle Gray deck that you brought through some information in the last one. One of the other questions is like, what is this person's fears, challenges, or struggles as a soul? And what I've learned is like, the gifts that we have in this lifetime are directly, like they were fears and challenges and struggles before, and we learned them. They became gifts. They get to be easy for us now. We've already learned the lesson. And that the things that we are fearful of or feel challenged by or struggle with in this lifetime are actually the very things we're meant to do. So it's very counterintuitive to the soul to be like, oh crap, I'm scared of public speaking. I'm never going to do that again in my life, right? Like it's actually very likely the thing you're meant to work through is like expression.
Yes.
Yes. So it's like, it's kind of been explained to me by my guides before, like fear, when like what you perceive as fear, there's been a word and an energy attached to it to make you feel like you need to run away from it. I don't mean survival like fear.
No.
Right. I mean, like, I don't think I could do this. I'm challenged. I'm struggled by it. But that's actually the opposite of what it was meant to be. That feeling was meant to go, oh, I'm feeling this, because fear and excitement actually feel the same kind of to our bodies. It's just a different,
different kind of
different
reaction
to it because of what we labeled.
Yes.
So what if we started to think of fear and excitement as kind of the same thing? The soul is excited that you are close to something that you're actually meant to do.
Very
so just
true.
asking you to reframe that.
Which is another theme of all of our episodes this January.
Yeah, so when this says it actually signifies a challenge you were born with, that makes sense for me when we talk about this. So how to figure out your life path number. Now, I did figure out Erin's beforehand, but like you can even do this and make sure that I did it right.
Okay.
You add the month and day of your birth date separately, and then the year together as a separate number. So, for example, if your birth date was November 20th, 1985, it would be 11 plus 20 equals 31. Right. And then you would add 1985 together, 1985, which would be 23.
Okay.
Okay. And then you would take the 23 and the 31 and add those.
Okay.
And you get 54. And then you take 5 plus 4 equals 9. So your life path is 9.
Is 9. Gotcha. So you add, keep adding. Right.
Keep adding until it goes to a single digit. Now, there are a couple numbers that you do not reduce, and they are kind of a little bit, I don't want to like label it special, but there are like 11s and 22. So if you're at 11 or 22, and I don't think this episode, I don't think this article actually touches on it. So it might be something that I search for live, but those are like master numbers. So if you get 11 or 22, leave it, like don't deduce it further. And I'll tap in, I'll go back to that in a moment.
Cool.
So when I did my calculation for you, I calculated that you were a 3.
Yeah. Okay.
I am a 1. My life path number is 1. So, life path number, let's see. I'm going to go back to Brandy's report here. So, of all the numbers, your life path number is the most significant. It provides the most information about your character and the type of life you live. Your life path number is in your soul contract. It indicates the path you've chosen to walk in this life. Broadcasted onto your experiences and the lessons you'll learn along the way is the vibration this number holds.
Yeah.
So it's just your energetic frequency. It just is what you are, who you are. Interestingly enough, I always try to, I see like how everything is interconnected, especially when you start to learn about different spiritual systems and things. Yeah. And I see this in my astrology. I see this in my human design chart. I see this in my gene key numbers. Like it's all
connected.
It's all connected. So Erin as a 3.
Oh man.
The communicator.
Okay.
Life path 3s, or the communicators in numerology, tend to be more emotionally sensitive and highly empathetic, according to K Hart. This person that's quoted in this.
Well, K Hart, you're right.
They must learn the art of patience when dealing with conflict. She notes, adding that they can be caught up in the negative aspects of self-expression, becoming judgmental or indulging in gossip. So it's just like, it's just a mindful about communication, right? Because it sounds as if communication in general is part of your soul plan. Makes sense. We have a podcast with the communicator. So just like be mindful of the more negative aspects of
that's been a big learning curve that I've done, and are going to continue to do. But
right. So you can see also like that goes back to like when they said it's a challenge, but also what you're here to do. Okay, Buchanan agrees that eliminating gossip and drama is necessary for this life path, adding that their lesson is not to exaggerate negativity or over-dramatize problems.
No, sorry.
With their natural gift for self-expression, communication, and creativity, Buchanan says 3s thrive as artists, musicians, dancers, or chefs.
I did want to be an actress. I studied theater.
Interesting. Yeah, so that's cool. Now I have mine is a life path 1. So I have Brandy's definition, but I also have
what it says on there.
What it says on here.
Oh,
so
read
number 1,
both.
it says leadership. I know this also because my human design says I'm a leader, and
Yeah.
my gene keys say I'm a leader.
And you have your own business, and you're thriving, and you're
Yeah, and it's funny because I never thought I would be an entrepreneur. But I'm learning. Right? Challenge.
Yes.
It's my challenge.
Yes.
Number 1s are the independent leaders of the world. These people are proactive and represent the initiators, innovators, and visionaries. Self-doubt will be their biggest struggle to overcome. They must embrace their unique nature and learn to trust themselves. Ones often feel different from others. They must find the confidence and courage to walk a path less traveled, to learn to embrace their individuality. Career-wise, these folks are suited for careers where they can work on their own or at least be in charge, such as an independent contractor, a business owner, or a life coach.
Which you do.
I know.
You're also a life coach.
I was like, I'm really not meant to work for other people. See, that was like the shadowy aspect of it of like, oh, because I self-doubt, have an insecurity about my ability to manage myself and my time and all of these things. I was like, I need to work for somebody else because I need somebody to tell me what to do, but then I actually don't thrive in the situation. That's the challenge. Yeah. So Brandy writes just that number 1 holds a strong vibration of individuality linked to forward motion, multitasking, self-employment would serve them well since they're happiest being their own boss.
Yeah.
When ones have the courage to express different viewpoints without seeking the approval of others, they are on their way to standing in their power and aligning with their purpose.
Yeah.
I just kind of see. As born leaders, they crave respect. Life's journey of self-discovering is significant to most people, but for ones, it's a big part of their purpose. Having ample self-awareness and considering how they relate to others is their main area to focus on in this life.
Yeah.
And this just comes back to my interest in all things. I mean, I went to school. I have a degree in psychology. I want to know how what makes people tick, why people do certain things, why I do certain things, why this works. This is why I'm interested in the work I do. This is why I'm interested in astrology, human design. I want to know why.
Yeah, knowledge. The more knowledge. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So then it lists like strengths and weaknesses of a 1. So I'm just going to give the weaknesses because we're talking about can be a challenge, can be a know-it-all. Am I good enough type thinking, impatient, can be aggressive. Color 1.
I really can't see you as aggressive, but I also know you've talked about how you don't want to get on your bad side.
I am passionate. So I will be the most loving person that you could ever hope to be around. But something that I have to be mindful of is if I feel wronged or you wrong somebody that I love, Mama Bear comes out. Then I could be aggressive.
Right.
I have trouble letting things go. And that's part of my lesson here is like, if I feel somebody's wronged me, I ruminate.
Yeah.
I ruminate. So like a tendency to like want to get even might have been something that I would have focused on before. And now I'm just like, who is this really hurting? Right. So forgiveness work is a major part of my life.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm really only hurting myself because that other person doesn't know that I'm sitting here losing sleep over this, having shower arguments. That other person is living their life and I'm the one paying the price for it. So
yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's part of my challenge here too. So then I didn't research this, but I'm going to see. Actually, I think this one. Why do I keep saying episode? This article does talk about it, which is cool. Okay, so I'm going back to insile.com. So the next thing that is in this report is your destiny number. Okay, so it says the second most influential number is the destiny number. It is calculated using each letter of the full original birth certificate name.
Whoa.
So in my case, it's different than Amy Brookes.
Right.
Because that was not my maiden name. That was not my birth name. It is also known as the expression number or name number. The destiny number gives us a broad outline of the opportunities, challenges, and lessons we encounter in this lifetime. It indicates abilities that already reside within you. So if we're going back to comparing it to my higher self reading, that would be like the gifts.
Yes.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
And our must be activated and utilized through the course of your life. Along with the life path number, this is the number to take into consideration when choosing a career. It reveals your inner goals and the person you aim to be. Knowing your destiny number can help you understand your gifts, talents, unique offerings, and also the shortcomings that were with you when you entered your human body. So let's in lifetime calculate yours, Erin, because I know mine. So on this article, incel.com, it says how to figure out your destiny number.
Okay.
Or your natural ability number. First of all, bear in mind that every letter is associated with a number. So then it has a cheat sheet where A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, and so forth throughout the whole. It goes as far as 9. Okay.
9.
So we get to I equals 9, and then J starts over at 1. Okay.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
So how can we do it?
Okay, I know it. You don't have to say your last name, but what I know your last name, that's your birth certificate name.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I will write it down. Now, I didn't use my middle name when I gave this to Brandy, so I think that's okay. We just do first and last.
Okay.
Okay, so then I'm going to look at the corresponding numbers. So
Whoa.
these 5.
Watch Amy start saying the.
Sorry, I won't say your last name. I won't. I was
and
mindful.
Then we
I was thinking about it.
And just kidding.
No, I was thinking about that. I won't say it.
I'm just kidding.
I'm just making sure I'm writing all the right numbers down. So bear with me if you're listening to the podcast.
Yeah, Amy is busy calculating the.
Okay, I'm almost done. 5.
Oh my gosh. If you can't see my face, but my eyebrows are doing something.
I just want to cross-reference check. So.
Oh boy, here we go. It's coming.
I should have done this before.
No,
I work best
this is
on
fun.
The fly.
Yeah, no, this is great. Because I was ready to start calculating. I was like, give me
you can do it too. You might be faster.
No, it's okay. I don't have anything in front of me.
Oh, okay.
Here we go.
Okay, I got them all. Okay, so we've got the numbers, right? So remember,
everybody can start placing 1, bets. Yeah.
A is 1, B is 2, and you get to I is 9, and then you start over J is 1.
Yeah, yes,
right.
Yes.
So just if you write the alphabet out, do it that way.
Okay, yeah. So for folks who want to do it at home. Yeah.
That's right. Add the numbers of the names separately, so your first and then your last. So if we add your first, we've got 28. Okay, and then the last
18. That is my birthday.
Yeah, right? 5995 is 28. So then we've got, let's see, that's 10.
Sounds like a phone number.
10, and that's 6 is 16, and 3 is 19, and 4 is 24. Okay, so 28 and 24. Then we add those together, and we're going to be putting it on the spot. Is that 52? Off the top of my head, 28 plus 24 is 52. Okay, so 52. And then together would be 7. Okay, so you are a 7.
A 7. Okay. Not a 9, but not a 1. Yeah.
The number 7 rules knowledge and truth. It is a mysterious number that promotes a deep curiosity. When this number is prominent, the person's natural intelligence will promote specialization in a field or becoming an expert in what they do, or an enthusiast. It can bring a bit of the brilliant nerd mind with a knack for research. Some may be skeptics, however, others may tap into their spiritual gifts. You've been on both sides of the coin.
Yeah. Wow.
7s are teachers, trainers, advisors, and consultants. Many find it difficult to trust others and may have experienced betrayals in their past. They should develop an inner connection through meditation, yoga, and self-inquiry. Mm-hmm. They would do well to let people gradually earn their trust. Your keyword is truth.
Ooh, that's cool.
That's cool.
That rings really true. That feels right.
That feels right.
Thank you. Oh my gosh.
You're welcome.
What's yours though?
So my keyword, if I look on here, I'm a 5. So my keyword, it says freedom. I'm going to read what Brandy wrote. Free thinking, adventurous, and progressive. 5s are defined by freedom. 5s need to experience the world by engaging its 5 senses. For 5s, life lessons are acquired through spontaneous acts of bravery. 5 is known for its playful, impulsive, and vivacious spirit. On the flip side, Fives can become restless and impatient. Five must remember that when it narrows its gaze, it will discover that the most rewarding exploration exists in its own backyard. Speaking of spiritual hugalas, we were talking about last week, right?
Yeah.
Finding the magic in the mundane, not always seeking, going, what do I actually already have? It's already all here.
Yes.
Five people can tend towards overindulgence in physical things. I know this about myself for sure. I definitely have seen this throughout my life.
Yeah.
Where just in general, I'll get like hyper fixated on something, and then it's like, it's all about the senses for fives.
I know.
So,
it's interesting you say that, because we talked about the clairs too recently. Our other podcast episode that we did. I just thought that was very fitting.
Yeah.
Because five senses can also, for me, I feel like that's
all about your clairs.
The clairs, yeah.
Yeah. Well, fives resist restriction, boredom, and feeling fenced in. It may take a while for them to fully commit to relationships, jobs, or long-term study. When a 5 person has a 4 or 8 among their numbers, which I don't, or do I have that? I think I have an 8. Oh, wait. A 4. No, I have a 4 in my other chart, but it's just saying when a 5 person also has a 5 or an 8 among all of their personality numbers, they are more grounded and more responsible and less scattered than a 5 would be without a 4 or 8. So I do have a 4 in my chart.
Okay. Interesting.
So movers and shakers, never a dull moment.
Movers and shakers,
good at different things, multi-talent, like multitask, like lots of different balls in the air. So it says 5 are natural messengers, and they can excel in communication, networking, and PR. Fun fact, when I first started university, my first year, I actually was in PR, which is public relations, and I had to take intro to psych, and I fell in love, and I changed my major. So there you go, buddy.
There we go.
Even though they're restless, inconsistent, and easily bored, they're charismatic.
Sorry.
Oh my God, that was so loud. I think you sneezed into the mic. I'm sorry if anybody is deaf now. I'm very sorry.
Scott's
came out of nowhere.
Turn it down.
Turn that down. That I don't know if it's just because I have headphones on. So
it could really also be because of the headphones, but I didn't look away. I did sneeze into my microphone. I have been sneezing this whole.
I know what's up.
Oh man.
Anyways, I just think that's funny.
Don't get sick.
They are popular storytellers with a gift for gab. You can say that. You can say it. I find that funny. So, okay, so that's how you find your destiny number. So, like, life path number, cool. Destiny number, top 2. There are others in this chart. So, if you want like a more in-depth one, there's like a soul number, which is cool. Okay. This is calculated from the vowels in your birth name. So, I believe that you take the same.
The same. I heard vowels.
Vowels. I think it's the same system that we used for the last one, where each number represents, like A.
Yeah.
But just calculating your vowels. So the reason I'm pointing this out is because she calculated my soul number. So it can be referred to as your soul's urge, soul's desire, heart desired. It represents the eternal spiritual you. Okay, which I think is cool. So I think we should figure out yours. It would be, so if you adopt the positive traits of this number, your soul would feel content and your human experience would be in alignment with your highest self. So I think this is really cool. Mine is 1, okay, which is also my life path number. So she wrote, having a soul and life path number match is amazing. You truly an independent individual. You have the gift of feeling guided by your own soul. However, everyone has their own soul as guidance, but especially you, because who you are and who your soul longs to be is aligned in this lifetime. So wow. I really loved that. So like
that is so cool.
My higher self and my life path number, they're the same. Insane. Yeah. So let's do yours really quickly. So if we did the vowels.
You could give me the numbers, Amy. I can just calculate.
Okay, so let me look. Oh, so let me circle the vowels. So we got that's a vowel, that's a vowel. That's a vowel, that's a vowel. So you got a 5, a 9, a 9, a 6, and a 1.
3.
So
because it's 3, I'm a 30, so 3 plus 0, 3.
Okay, so this article does not, I don't know if it would be the same description as the one we just got, like with the other numbers, because that was about your destiny number. So let me see if I can Google numerology soul number. Yeah, so she doesn't give description because it's like, it must be related to the other one because it's like one. She said, see your life path number for a description on one. So I think it's the same. Here, worldnumerology.com.
Okay. Seems reputable.
Your soul urge number shows your underlying motivation or the general intention behind many of your action. It dramatically influences the choices you make in life. The influence of your soul urge is everywhere in your career, your environment, friendships, and in your life. So does it soul urge, what did we say, 3?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to click on 3. If your soul urge is 3, you're playful and you love to have a good time. You're generally happy, friendly, outgoing. You have a gift for gab. You are very witty, creative, and playful. You inspire and entertain people. You're considered by many to be a great companion. Many outstanding comedians have this soul urge.
Yeah, you know what? I do consider myself a comedian.
Do you think you're funny?
I think I'm pretty funny, guys.
No, I didn't mean it that way. I think we should own I think we should own it, right? Like, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
As a soul urge 3, you have a good mental and emotional balance, and there's little that gets you down. Now, that's interesting because one of your other numbers said to be mindful about focusing on negativity. So there could be like a little bit of discord. So this is what your spirit, your soul.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Is trying to teach you. And the other one, is maybe a challenge. You have a gift for self-expression and are drawn to the verbal arts, writing, acting, singing, and poetry. We've already like that's
check.
If you fail to deal honestly with your inner nature, you may succumb to so above it, I guess I should say with the inner nature, it said like you might have difficulty expressing your deeper feelings and important personal thoughts. You prefer to stay on the surface sometimes, entertaining people with your wit.
Yes, it's how I avoid things. Yeah,
right,
through humor.
If you fail to deal honestly with your inner nature, you may succumb to compulsive talking. So this is me. I guess such behavior may be merely a way of siphoning off emotional energy that is building beneath the surface. Interesting, because we talked about releasing energy, right? So it's like siphoning off. Interesting. Your deeply felt emotional life cannot be avoided or suppressed in this lifetime, but you possess the talents to channel those feelings into highly creative and artistic form. There you go. That's how you channel it. So it's not always about like saying everything. Like, no. So I guess if you're feeling the energy building, it might be like, I need to be mindful about what I'm saying and instead express myself in another way.
Yes,
interesting.
Absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. That's very cool.
I'm going to link I'll make sure
you should. Yeah, because I think our listeners would really love to do.
World Numerology. I'm sure you can get all the information from here, but like specifically, I'm looking at the soul urge number. So I'm going to quickly look at mine, which is 1. Your soul urge is 1. You are overpowering and need to be independent. You want to direct your own life according to what you believe. Your dream is to become the leader of whatever field you enter, whether it's business, community, or your general area of expertise. You are driven to be the reigning figure.
Enthusiast.
That's interesting.
That's very heavy. Like the reigning figure feels very strong. I would say like you want to be good at what you do. You always strive to be the best version of yourself. That's what I would say.
You're keenly insightful and are good at evaluating the abilities of others. You are supremely individualistic. In your manner and dress, you like to project your own unique persona. Consequently, you don't mind being controversial, and you can even enjoy the attention and impact you have made on your surroundings. The 1 dislikes routines. Or anything that limits your freedom and independence, especially if it's your soul urge number. Whenever you commit to something you truly love, you are absolutely tenacious in your ability to endure difficulties and overcome obstacles. You are highly responsible and you do not like passing the buck. Yes. So the shadowy part, right, of this is that I can fall victim to impatience and intolerance, particularly if I grow conceited or feel superior. I can see that. I know, like, based on my astrology, my south node, which is a whole other story, but for listeners that know what their south node is, this is like what you're moving away from. It's your natural kind of thing to fall back on. But there's no growth in this lifetime anymore. So for me, that's in Pisces. So like the dreamy, like, let's just escape and avoid doesn't serve me, but it's my natural, like, when shit hits the fan, that's what I do. And I see it and I know it. So one of the things I read about that, so the opposite of your south node, the north node is also going to be the opposite side of your south node. So south node Pisces. My north node is in Virgo. And one of the main things that come up for that is leaving a victim mindset behind, our victim mentality. That made a lot of sense for me. And it seems like my soul number is saying the same. So interesting about that. So there's a bunch of other numbers. I'm just going to quickly, there's like an outer personality number. This is
wow, there's so many, like, so many layers to this.
Yeah, this is using the consonants in your birth name, so maybe you can figure that out afterwards. And it gives you the outer personality, or an indication of how others perceive you. So that's interesting. Maturity number is very significant in your chart because it reveals your future potential and ultimate goal in your life. It also is known as the realization number or the power number. It is determined by both your name and birth date. Adding your life path number to your destiny number. The maturity number doesn't kick in until maturity and can begin to be felt at any time between 35 and 45.
I was going to ask, when is maturity?
Right? You should fully feel the influence of the number in your life by the age of 50. The gift of this additional energy is that suddenly you feel like you don't have time or patience to waste on things that aren't fulfilling your purpose. We literally talked about this earlier, right? In a previous episode. So yeah, for me, I'm number 6. So it's just talking about kind of being a humanitarian, visionary, that kind of energy, caretaker energy. Then you got the birthday number. So this is calculated just simply by the day you were born. So I think if you were it would be 10. It would go down to 1. So I think you would be 1. Mine is 9 because I'm born on the 9th. So it talks about what that means
for you.
Then your current name number, right? So my married name changes me to a 7. So it changes a different vibration. So it says, this is a minor expression number. Amy Brookes holds a different vibration than your birth name. It is an energetic signature that brings additional personality traits, strengths, and talents. Every time you use your current name, you're projecting out into the world the vibration of a contemplative truth seeker. Okay, I found this actually very interesting because it was after I got married that I did become, this kind of opened up more into me. So it almost felt like it was meant to be that way.
Oh, I'm so excited. I have to find out mine and then like kind of see.
Do it. So it's just saying, like, so you do it the same way as the life path number, but you're doing it with your married name.
Yes.
You're a talented problem solver, strategic person who can excel in psychology, metaphysics, science, philosophy, technology, crave wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. This is all about the inner work of the machinery, right? The inner machine, the nature of the universal energy. I kind of was like, when I read this, because it says 7s have a fondness for nature, particularly the ocean. You know me in the ocean. It's why I'm going moving back to the coast. Mindfulness practice, engaging in modalities such as meditation, yoga, tai chi can benefit anyone, but especially to a 7. So yeah, it just talks about how spirituality is extremely important to a 7. So I found that interesting.
That's really cool. And you'll link all this in the show notes too for our listeners. So I feel like everybody will.
So I'll link this website, the numerology .com, because I think that you probably can. Well, we're giving direction too on like how you find
how to do it and stuff, but just in case you need to see it,
I won't direct the thing I'm reading from because this is like a personal.
No.
Yeah. So I will quickly end with karma. Okay, so like karmic lessons and karmic debt. So you can literally Google karmic debt. So let's do this. So we're gonna go karmic debt. So we'll see how you can figure out your karmic debt. So karmic lesson numbers, also known as missing numbers, because there are numbers missing from your birth name. Karmic lesson numbers indicate some of your inherited weaknesses and specific areas in need of growth that have been passed on from your previous life and need to be addressed in this one. One of the reasons you've chosen to incarnate in this current life is to master these lessons. Having reviewed your own incarnations, you determine that you still have learning to do in certain areas.
Mm-hmm.
If you have karmic lesson numbers, that lesson will continually present itself throughout your life until you've worked it out.
That makes sense.
So I can reveal mine, but I also want to look in here to get, I'm figuring out how to get it. That's what I want to know is like, how do you determine how to find, my hair keeps falling on my face, how to find your karmic lessons.
I have this calculator here. I've got seventhlifepath.com karmic lessons. I don't know if that's coming up.
Okay. So let's see. That's what I just found that too. Okay, so we'll link that to seventhlifepath.com. So you actually can put your stuff in there and it will.
You just enter your first name. I don't know either if it's like.
Is it going to make you sign up for something? And go
No, it's not. Thing? No, it's not. It's just telling you your karmic lessons are. So mine are 2, 7, and 8.
Okay.
The numbers, it says those numbers are used to calculate many of the values in your numerology chart. The numbers not found within your name represent your karmic lessons. So these are the numbers not found in my name.
Right.
So I can do. Did you pull yours up, Amy? Or
so it's in the report.
Oh, it's in the report that you have.
Mine are. So is this like? I wonder if there's a way to calculate. So down here it says. Our karmic lesson numbers are found from the name of the person. These numbers are those from 1 to 9 that are absent from our names.
Yes.
So when we went through the thing where you're like, A is 1. So if you write these things down, all the way to I is 9, and then J becomes 1 again. So if you have that reference point on your paper, then you've got your name, and you just see like which numbers are not showing up for you in that name, like when you calculate, right?
Yeah.
So what did you say? 2, 7, and 8?
Mine are 2, 7, and 8. Yeah.
Interesting. My karmic lesson numbers are 2, 8, and 9. So we got some similar ones.
We got similar ones. Yeah.
So she says 9 is also in your chart. So because my birthday is the 9, so that's my birthday lesson. So that means that lesson is reduced. Reduced because of that. But I'll give you 2 because we share it.
Yeah.
You must learn to be more diplomatic and tactful, to stay in the background when necessary, and sometimes to accomplish something without the need to be praised and rewarded.
Yes.
Learn to be part of the team. You must learn to be more sensitive to other people's needs and feelings. Well, we're certainly learning that in this lifetime as mediums. You will regularly find yourself in a situation where the only road to success is through patience and attention, requiring you to work closely and cooperatively with others. So we're learning that. You don't have 8?
I have 8, yeah.
You do have 8. Okay.
Yeah.
This lesson, so I have a 2, so it's interesting. We both have 2 and 8. This lesson indicates a need to reclaim your personal power over whatever disempowers you. It will force you to understand money, status, authority, and power. This lesson is about becoming efficient. Attracting money is not an issue. The lesson here is to not let it slip through your fingers. And to learn. I know. I was like, oh god.
LOL. Yeah.
And to learn how to manage your material affairs. I think this is interesting too because we're both so heavy earth signs.
Yes.
Earth is pentacles. Pentacles is material, right?
Yeah.
So we're here to learn our material affairs. So I think our birthdays were very purposeful, like chosen by us. Yeah. Knowing your limits and accepting help from people, particularly authority figures, is also part of your lesson.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that is.
Interesting, right? So
yes, I would say yes, and I agree.
Yes, right? So it's interesting we share 2 of those, right?
Yes, it's true.
Then your karmic debt. So we'll end with karmic debt. Karma gets a bad rap, okay? I know there's a religious lens here, what some people believe karma is. I will tell you my own personal, and you can let me know if you agree and if you have any difference of opinions. For me, what I feel and what I've learned from the work that I do is that karma is not so much a punishment. It's just a repeating. It's like we're on this hamster wheel. We're doing the same thing over and over again. And
it's about learning. That's it.
That's it. All it is.
Yeah.
And it's trial and error, and it's like, okay,
yes,
this is my natural tendency,
mm-hmm.
right? For me, it's like sometimes I feel like your triggers. Like, what are your triggers? And learning how to move beyond it. Like that's your karma. That's why it's a trigger.
Yes, I agree.
And it's to no fault of your own, right? It's like it's from experiences and things that you've had to. It's survival. It's survival instincts, right? It's how you got where you are. So I think we need to take the judgment out of it.
Yeah, it's not like you did this, you deserve this. You know what I mean? Like it's more about we all make mistakes. We all have things that we need here to learn. Mm-hmm. If you didn't learn it, it's gonna come back. That's it. It's not like you did anything wrong. It's not like you failed the test. It's okay. Sometimes it takes practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So karmic debt.
Let's see if I can get that. Let's see. Karmic debt calculator. So, again, 7 life path number. I think you can do this all on this website.
You can do it right on there. Yeah.
Karmic debt number means it looks like you have to put in your birthday. Mm-hmm. Excuse me, I'm trying to put in my birthday. December. Hold tight, folks. So yeah, this website that Amy and I are, Amy, if you're on the same one, it's 7thlifepath.com. And you don't have to pay for anything. It's just going to automatically calculate it. It says my life path number equals 3 + 1 + 9 = 13 divided by 4. Your life path 4 has a karmic debt number 13.
13?
Yeah.
It's just interesting because I'm wondering 13, why.
The 4 karmic debt numbers are 13, 14, 16, and 19.
Yeah. So the interesting thing is that she's got, let me see on the back of this paper. If I'm missing something. No, I think this is the end. So okay. Interesting. Because she says the number that I have on here is different than the one that just came up in the calculator. So I don't know why. So let me just read this to you. Karmic debt numbers indicate particular lessons that must be mastered in this lifetime because we failed to learn them in previous lives. Mm-hmm. Each karmic debt number has its own unique lesson and burden. Now, there are a few different takes on this. Some say that if you have a karmic debt number in any of your personality, that counts, while others believe that a karmic debt number should only be taken into consideration if it comes from the life path number. Now, this website seems to be saying it's coming from life path number because it says your life path 1 has a karmic debt number of. So it's referring to my life path in order to find the thing.
Yeah.
So
indicates that there is.
For completeness, I will provide any karmic debt number that arises and will indicate whether it comes from your life path or not. So then when she gives it to me, she said not derived from your life path. So interesting. In my personal opinion, the karmic debt can be weighed heavily if it comes from the life path and less so if it comes from one of the other numbers in your chart. So I don't really understand what the difference is. Like it seems to be say that some people think it should come from your life path, and she said for completeness I will provide any karmic debt number that arises and will indicate whether or not it's from your life path. So the karmic debt number she gave me was 13/4, and it says not derived from your life path. The karmic debt number that comes from, maybe I'll send her a message and I'll ask her how she, like, what the reason for that is. Yeah, because here it says my life path number has a karmic debt number of 19. But this says 13. So what did you say yours was 13?
Yeah.
It's interesting, which is what it says mine is, but I just don't know how she came about it. But I'll read this because I've actually told you about this before because
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, because it was actually it made sense to me why in this lifetime having integrity is so important to me. And it's because based on this, in a past lifetime, I might not have had as much integrity. Okay. And I connected it to a past life of my own that I've connected to where, and I've done your past life reading. So I hope it's okay to share a little bit of the fact that we both have very witchy past lives, right?
Yeah.
And that at least in my case, and it sounds like maybe in your case too, because there's both 13, that maybe at some point we allowed the power of that to make us a little less in our integrity and a little bit like superior.
Yes. Yeah.
And so in this lifetime, we're paying it back by like being really mindful of
humble
it and humble. Yeah. So what it says is this is a debt that you, because in previous incarnations, you have had creative, joyful energy that was misused and turned into superficiality, or may have been used to hurt others. You may have been bossy, overly rigid, and or stubborn.
Oh my God, I got chills when you said
right? You're here to master the art of positive expression. This is really tapped into what, like your number 3, the communicator.
Yeah.
The importance of thinking before speaking, not being judgmental, and using your words to uplift others is absolutely paramount.
Wow. And that's been like a really big, powerful thing that I've learned and come to realize is that language, words have power.
Yes, they do.
And then I'm super mindful of that.
Yeah.
And that definitely comes across with mediumship too, right? And how we word things or how we communicate the messages and interpret it to folks.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, I kind of take it that way, that maybe, there was an element of power or, not humble. You must learn to be responsible and face your challenges head on rather than succumb to quick fix solutions, shortcuts, or any manipulation. This number brings an opportunity for personal transformation. And when you're honest, patient, and persevere, remember that was my word for 2022, through adversity, you will overcome this lesson.
Yeah.
So yeah, like when I remember reading this and going, okay, so this is why there's such a hyper focus for me on like making sure the right thing is always done. Like,
yes,
like
you're very
going above and beyond, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I think it's what we're restoring the balance of that. But I also, what I'm hearing as I say this is like to be mindful, like, yes, you're repaying the balance, to do good and to do good work with your energy and with your gifts. But like, I feel like we're both also here to, like, it's not a pendulum. Like, it's not like, sorry, my nose is super itchy all of a sudden. It's not like
I hope you
went from
you
this
sneeze.
energy of like maybe taking to giving. It's like more about finding that balance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as you were saying that, I was like, I was thinking that too, because we can give, but we also have to remember that we also have to give to ourselves, and that's okay. That's part of like the lesson within the lesson.
Yeah. It's funny, just to end, unless you have anything else to share.
Yeah.
So this is like coming out in January. This is recorded in real time. We're in December. Yesterday, the Daily Tarot that I posted was the Queen of Pentacles. And I don't know if you saw that message, but the message was, this is my favorite card in the deck, by the way.
Yeah.
The message that was coming through was like, that this is a lady that is like heavily boundaried. Okay. And they are able to give and be so generous and be so compassionate because they've also figured out how to give that to themselves.
Yes.
Right? That's how they can be so compassionate and loving and generous.
And yes.
Because they know their self-worth and they can give that to themselves. And so that's where the balance comes in. It's a reciprocal relationship. And so that comes to mind as I am speaking. It reminds me of like pentacles. We are like earth people, pentacles, earth. Like I feel like it's all connected.
Yes. I agree.
Yeah. Every time I do a personal reading, I get a lot of pentacles. I don't know if you've ever noticed that with you. Do they show up a lot for you?
I would say so. Yeah. I'm a pentacles or discs or a lot of earth energy.
Yeah, I get swords too. Like my shadow side, I talked about this a little bit just before we go. That when I got the Light Seers Tarot, which is the deck I often use with my daily tarots. Chris Ann, the creator, she in like as a way to get to know your deck, she's like, go through the deck and like intuitively choose a card that you're kind of repelled by or you just don't like, based on maybe the energy of the card or just the way it looks or something about it you don't like.
Yeah.
Okay, set it aside. Now do the same, but a card that you're really drawn to. You're just like, whoa, I don't know what it is. This has good energy. I just this. And then she said, the one you're repelled by is your shadow card. So this is a clear marker that when this shows up for you in a reading, that something is not aligned, right? It's just asking you to kind of
really good.
tweak some things. And the light card is I'm in alignment. Things are going good. So for those of you listeners that pay attention to the Daily Tarot every day, it's become a running joke of how often the 7 of Swords have shown up for me in the last couple months. The 7 of Swords is my shadow card.
Wow.
So like, and I just clued into that a couple of weeks ago when I was going through my bedside table, found a journal where I wrote those things. Like my shadow card is this. This says I'm out of alignment. My light card is this. This says I'm in alignment. I bring that up because my card of alignment is the Queen of Pentacles, and she came up yesterday. And she came up the day after I had a boundary situation come in my work. Right. And I was like, so I felt like it came in to go, okay, good. You're good. You boundaried up, lady. Like you did you gave. You were like, you were humble. You were generous. You were good, but you also knew your self-worth. And I was like, hallelujah. Yes. So anyways, I just wanted to share that because I thought that was cool. That's a little tip if you want to get to know your deck.
I think that's a really great tip that I'm going to do. I haven't done that, so I really like that. Yeah. A way to get to know your cards in general, you can start doing that for. And when you want to give yourself a reading, you say, what's up? And if you get that card, it's a good kind of like just a little nudge from spirit to say, do a little check-in.
Yeah.
Do a little check-in. Are you in alignment?
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Well, today was a long one. We had a lot to say, and I guess there was a lot of like on the spot.
We did, but I loved it.
But I loved it too. I thought it was very interesting.
Yeah. Thank you so much for doing that. Also for me, like that was really, really helpful.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoy it. And we will see you next week.
Yes. Happy January. Okay. We're almost in February. Holy cow.
Holy cow is right. Okay. On that note, have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye. If you like what you're hearing, don't forget to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcast and tune in each week as we dish on all things spiritual.
Don't forget to like, comment on what you would like to hear us talk about next, and subscribe.